So I got it all stripped down to bare metal. Got some rust here I gotta fix, and some surface rust here and there. This thing's been welded on where they welded the wheel tubs in, so it's pretty warped up. It's really sunk in right here. So I'm gonna treat that pitted rust with this stuff again, this OSFO stuff. I'm gonna brush some of that on this, just the pitted parts, and then I'm gonna cut out this in here and make a patch panel for it. I gotta do some reshaping here too on the wheel opening arch, because it's a little tighter against the tire than the other side was, so got some metal work to do. There you go. Alright, so we're gonna patch this up in here, just like the other side where it was getting all the smoke in the car. I'm gonna make a plate for that. Got some holes here and some gaps in the wheel arch. You can see the rust on the inner structure. This is a piece I cut out of it, so I'm gonna make a new one of these and put in there. So that's the next step. So now I got these cuts welded up. Got that patch panel in there. I made a small patch panel for here and welded some places up here in the tub. I made a big panel here, so hopefully this thing won't fill up with smoke so bad when I do a burnout, because both sides, if you look at my other video, this was totally open, this was pretty open. So I'm going to grind these welds down and probably seam seal all this in here now, and then we can start doing the metal work to the outside of this before we Bondo it. Alright, got it all ground down. So now I'm going to etch primer this and seam seal it on the inside and then start on the outside. So here's what it looks like after I've etch primed and seam sealed it. So now it's all sealed up. So I think we got about ready to mud this thing. I made another one of those patches to fill in, because this is like a sharp 90 degree right here and it needs to be curved, so I built that patch panel there. Had a crease dent up through here I had to fix, a little dent there, a little dent here I had to pull out, and right there. So I think we're about ready to Bondo this thing, and but here it is in bare metal. So I got it all Bondoed. There's really no dents above there, so now I'm going to, once this dries, get the shape right with some 40 grit, and that's the grit I'll use until we get it the shape I want it. Then we'll have to put probably a couple more coats of Bondo in certain spots, and then we'll putty the whole thing and then finish it out with 180. So this is what it looks like after the first coat. We got some low spots where we did the patch panel, some low spots from some dents. Got a few high spots, so we're going to tap down the high spots, and I usually sand inside these before I put a second coat. A lot of guys don't do that, but I always do. This lip is really hard to make and get it straight, so kind of struggling with that. So I'm going to sand inside these low spots, tap down the high spots, and we're going to put another coat of Bondo on it. Now this is after the second coat of Bondo. We've got a lot of stuff filled in now. We do have some smaller low spots, but you know, nothing too crazy bad. So we're gonna putty this thing. This is finished out with 80 grit, so we're gonna putty the whole thing, and I'll knock the top off of it with 80, then I'll finish it out with 180, and it should be ready to primer, and most of this car will be black. Here it is with the putty on it, just to show you what it looks like. It's really shiny. So once that dries, I'll sand it and it should be ready for primer. So I finished out that putty with 80 grit, and now I've guide coated the whole thing with some just black spray paint, and I'm going to sand it down with 180, and the guide coat will show me when I've got all the 80 grit scratches out of it. As you can see here, where you miss that spray paint on, you can still see the 80 grit scratches, and where I blocked it enough, it's all the paint's gone. So that's when you know you get all your scratches out by using guide coat. So you just kind of get the rough shape with the 80 grit and then go back over it with 180, and then you're ready to prime. I had some little small pinholes that I went through with combi putty with a razor blade and pushed into those pinholes. I had a little low spot there. I filled in with putty and a little bit of roughness in the very bottom. I also put putty on, and this lip is pretty lumpy right down here and here, so I put some putty on the edge of that. Once that dries, I'll sand that down with 180, and we should be finally ready to primer this thing. Finally, many hours and days and sweat later, it's finally ready for primer. So I'm about to prime this thing black, and then we just have a rear body panel left to do. So that's what it looks like. I got the lip pretty good. It's not perfect. I mean, this thing, if I end up painting it, I mean, I'm gonna have to block the whole car again, do some minor body work again, and you know, it's probably gonna get primed a whole another time, at least once, before it's ready, where I feel like it's ready for paint. So, but here's what it looks like right now. Here's the finished product. You got the quarter panel in black. It's not perfect. It's black primer, not paint. So the car now is almost completely black. I gotta fix the cowl. It's just black spray paint for now, but I want to do that when I have the windshield out. The car is in black and I love it. Looks a lot better for me. I'm not really a yellow fan, so still got the rear body panel back here. The next video you see of this car, I'm going to cut these frame rails out and make a new roll pan rear body panel for it. And I just figured out the harmonic balancer can come apart, so I'm going to get probably an SFI approved balancer for it to put back together. So there you go, guys. That's what it looks like. Done.